This is their concealer. I feel like my robe is giving fall vibes, and it is the newest like pajamas collection that Target has launched, and I had to pick it up and I wanted to wear it, but we're gonna ignore it and hopefully the summer vibes seep through, because that's what today's video is all about. I wanted to sit down and just really play an eyeshadow. I feel like I don't too much play with eyeshadow anymore, and I don't want to do anything crazy, but I want to do a little more than what I have been doing and also do a pop of color. So I did pull out 4 different palettes to play with. So I have the Chocolates by Juvias Place. I have the Warrior palette from Juvias Place. I have the James Charles palette. This is specifically for our pop of color. And then I have the Tati Beauty palette that I actually enjoy, but I haven't played with in a long time. My eyeshadow drawer honestly has just gone totally untouched for the longest time. So we are going to start with our eyeshadow look. However, I will say that like I'm not going to do everything right now, because obviously we need the base makeup done in order to do the bottom lash line and all that. So one step at a time, we're going to do as much as we can do for now. And I'm going to start with a fairly light shadow, which I think I'm going to go into the Tati palette for. So I'm going to take Soothe in the palette. Yeah, that's the one I want to grab. Soothe. So it's brown, it's neutral, but it's not too dark, not too light. And the thing I love about this Tati palette, it has a big mirror. And I love palettes with a mirror because it's just so convenient, you know? So I'm going to go in on the outer corner, but also work it into the crease as my blending shade. And one thing I like about not having any lashes on right now, because I was going to do my lashes before I even started filming today, but I was like, you know what? I really want to perfect this eyeshadow look, and for me personally, I just do eyeshadow a lot better when I don't have anything in my way. So no lashes it is for now, but we will put them on. But that's just me. And maybe that's why I haven't put eyeshadow on too often, is because I have lashes on all the time. So that makes sense. The next shade I'm gonna take is this one called Ritual. It's a deeper brown shade. We're just gonna smoke out basically this outer part of our eye, and I'm gonna use a little bit of this just to kind of press this onto the outer corner, start building this up, because I still want a semi-neutral eyeshadow look, but I want that pop of color to kind of resemble summer, if you get what I'm saying. So just gonna tap this right here, then I'm gonna blend, but I don't want too much of the color on my brush because I want to be able to control how deep this gets and where it goes. That's a pretty color. I love this brown in this palette. It's the most like true brown eyeshadow I feel I have. I'm also going to do it over here. That way I'm just like adding it evenly across both eyes. It's been so long since I've really done eyeshadow for real. So it kind of feels a little foreign to me, I'm not going to lie. Now the fact that I can't talk and do eyeshadow at the same time, that hasn't changed any. Still can't do both. Going back in with the first shadow brush that we were using, which this is the Morphe M504. I'm just gonna use this. I didn't put any like additional eyeshadow or anything on here, but I'm just using this just to help blend everything out and just mix the two shades together. Honestly, we don't have to go deeper than this, but I think I am going to just add one more shade of brown, but very little. So this is the Warrior palette from Juvias Place, and I'm going to use this deep brown right here. I'm going to take it on a very small brush because, again, I don't want too much of this, but I do want a little bit. So brushing it right here with this brush. Honestly, I could have used more of like a thinner brush to do this, and then go back in with that first brush and blend. Just want to give it a little more depth, not too much though. So my pop of color will come in the inner corner of the eye, and it'll also be on the lower lash line and like the center of my lower lash line. But I do want to add just a little bit of shimmer like in the center of the lid, if you will, right next to the darker shade that we put on the outer corner, but just not fully into the inner corner, if that makes sense. I want to take this one from, this is the Warrior palette again. I'm going to take the more orange glittery kind of shade because our pop of color is of course going to be orange today. I was going to do pink, but I also wanted to wear this robe, not gonna lie. So I just felt like the two would essentially clash. And I'm going to use this mirror so I can look a little closer. And I'm going to pop this here just a little bit onto the center of the lid. And I think we are going to leave it there for now. And we're going to move on to our base makeup for now, until we are able to like do our lower lash line. So to start, I am gonna prime my face, which I don't do too often, but I'm gonna use some of the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer in my T-zone. I feel like I need it there today. My pores are just a little too porous right now. So we're just gonna rub this in. And I am gonna spray my face down. I have this MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus spray in coconut. I haven't used yet, so I'm gonna use some of that to prime my skin a little bit. Okay, we have that. Now let's spray our face with this spray. Now you gotta spray it out a little bit before I spray it on my face. I can't really smell it. All right. Ooh, that's refreshing. This is definitely one of those sprays that you just gotta hold a little further out from your face, because if not, you will be drenched. I can kind of smell the coconut a little bit, not too much. It's not too potent. So that's kind of good, especially for people who don't really like smell like that. But very refreshing. It felt good on the face. For our base makeup today, we're going to do our underpainting method, if you will. I am going to be using the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer that I picked up in the shade Dark One Cafe for our cream contour, if you will. So I'm gonna dot this, I guess, on my face. I don't really know. Let's just do dots. And knowing how the concealer works, like when I use it for underneath the eyes, I kind of got to move a little fast. So I'm just putting it in those places. Didn't even get my brush, but I guess we will use this little small one, just work in small sections. And then just start tapping this in. Oh, yeah. This is definitely pigmented. Look at that pigment, you guys. I don't know what I was expecting. I love their concealer, which this is their concealer, duh. But I love it for like my under eyes and everything, which we are going to be using that today. I do have it out right here, but I need to blend this into the skin. It blends really, really nicely. As you guys can see, it's blending into my skin the way that I need it to. So if you've never used this concealer, first of all, I don't know what you're doing. Are you sleeping under a rock? Nobody really knows. But if you haven't, you can see just in this kind of application right here how nice it just like blends out, if that makes sense. Like, it's easy to work with, I feel. A lot of people just have quarrels with it because of the applicator, and I get that. But obviously it hasn't been anything that was able to stop me from using it, because I still love it and use it to this day. I am gonna add just the smallest amount that I can right here, where I would naturally cream contour on my nose and under here. These are just like natural areas that I would cream contour. So you gotta be careful because I don't want it to get too muddy. Just to further like press this into the skin a little bit. My nose is giving Oompa Loompa. But it'll be okay because we still have to put on concealer and our base foundation, because we are going to go in with the foundation. So I would say this is more of like a full glam summer look, even though I feel like when I do underpainting, it's less product I feel that I'm using, which is why I chose to go with this method. So before we apply our concealer, we are going to go in with our foundation. This is the Makeup by Mario foundation. I love this stuff. You guys know this. I pretty much use this a lot, honestly. I didn't think I would use it as much as I actually do, but I really, really love this. So I'm just going to actually dot this on my face, and then I'll go in with makeup puff just to blend things out. And I'm not even going to use too much of this. I did do one pump on my hand, but realistically I don't even need all the product. Like, I still have some product left. I don't even need it all. Hold on, let me wet my hands. I just have makeup wipes on deck so I can wipe the makeup off my hands and not transfer it onto my clothes, because yeah, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good at all. Using the puff to just blend everything in. Just gives a nice light even layer. Love that. As I said, we are going to be using the Nars concealer, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop this underneath the eyes. I'm going to put a little bit on my nose, but outside of that, I'm not going to put concealer anywhere else, because whatever extra concealer we have, we'll just use in those places, just so that we're not using too much. I am going to spray this Fix Plus again. It's just nice and refreshing. It does smell good. It smells like coconut. Moving into powder, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder to initially set the under eyes, and then I will go in with a loose powder, but this is just to initially set, because it is hot outside. I need more than just a pressed powder, to be honest, especially with a full face of makeup like I have right now. So yeah, just in those areas. And then for the loose powder, I'm going to actually use my Huda Beauty. I haven't used this in a minute either, but this one is in Banana Bread. I still haven't got the pink powder. I really want it. I know I still have that pink powder from Givenchy that I haven't used yet, but I promise we will get to it. I'm going to also take a little bit in the T-zone as well. Just right in here, because you guys know I don't like an oily T-zone. My T-zone needs to be matte. Okay. That's all the powder we're going to use. Now we're going to go into our bronzer. I'm going to use this one from Nars. This is the Laguna bronzer. Pairs nicely with that concealer, which is nice. Another bronzer that would probably be really good for this too is the MAC one. I don't know why I didn't pull that one out, but Nars does just fine as well. So moving back to our eyeshadow, let's go ahead and pull the Tati palette. And we're gonna start with, should we do the pop of color first? Yeah, let's do the pop of color first, and then we'll do the bottom lash line. So we're gonna just take those two brown shades, the lighter one and the darker one that we used, and we're gonna run those on our lower lash line. Actually, this has a mirror essence, and we're just gonna brush it on the lower lash line. For the darker shade of brown, I'm dipping my brush ever so lightly into it, tapping it off, and then brushing it on the lower lash line. I don't want to look like I got punched in the face. I want to grab my pop of color, which I'm going to take this orange right here, the bright orange. That's what I want as my pop of color. And I'm going to place this here first in the inner part. So I'm going to take this, like, I don't know, pencil brush, if you will. It's pointed, it's small. This is the Morphe M431. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to grab this mirror, and I'm going to place this here in the inner corner, but I'm also going to bring it up on the lid just a little. Okay. You can wet the brush, like, to get more of a deeper pigment if you wanted to. I'm just gonna go on with it dry for now. Just kind of placing it like that. Now I'm gonna take a little of that same shadow that we put in the inner part, and I'm gonna put it here, kind of like focusing it on the center area. Just try not to do too much. A little at a time is all you need to do. One thing about these shadows in this James Charles palette, very powdery. So if you have a better palette, I would definitely suggest to use that. But this is what I got. That is it for shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lashes on really quickly, and then we'll come back and finish up the rest of the face. The lashes that I am putting on are my DIY lashes. I'm just going to do them now that my eyeshadow is complete. These are from Amazon. It's the Cluster Mink Lashes by Hey Alice. Her Instagram is on here, so if you want the information and the details, it'll be in the description. I know I didn't link it on the video that I said I was going to link it on, which actually I'll just go back and add that link now that I remember that I need to do that. So the link will be there too as well. So check the description for all the details of the lashes, and I will probably list out the products in today's video as well. We only have highlighter and blush left. As you guys have noticed, I did not use any cream blush, and that's just because I didn't have like the orange that I wanted in a cream blush. So I'm gonna use my ABH trio and use the lighter orange in here for blush today, because it's like the only blush that I have that is like really orange. And obviously we want an orange blush to just like complement the pop of color that we have. And then for highlighter, I'm going to use Nars highlighter in Ibiza, just for something different, because I did want to use the Sephora palette because it was more of like a natural kind of highlight. But we're going to go in with this one for a more golden highlight. I'm just going to put this in the T-zone and do a little above the brow. Above the brow, below the brow. Right in here. I was going to go in with this one from Revolution Pro, which is more of like a matte setting spray, which I do like, but I feel like I want something a little bit more hydrating, so I'm just going to go in one more time with this one from Colourpop. So I went ahead and took off my little headscarf just to give you guys a more accurate representation of what today's look is giving. I will say this is not the vision that I had going into today's video, but we were literally just sitting here playing with makeup, and I hadn't done eyeshadow in so long. I really felt like I wanted to do that today, and I did do that, you know? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you appreciate it. I really don't have anything to say other than I love you guys. from the bottom of my heart. It means everything for you to click on my videos, watch them, comment, like, subscribe. All of that matters. You could be watching 1,000 other people, but you chose to watch my video, and I genuinely appreciate it.